What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. I got a new Civivi to check out with you. Let's get it. All right, guys. I am on like my fourth video in a row here. I've been handling these all week, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit, and I'm running a little low on the steam, so I apologize if this is a little bit more low energy. I'm going to do my best to get through it, but we're checking out the Incindie, which is weird because earlier I was looking at the Cindy, which is a different knife, and they're definitely spelled differently. This one has, is that Nitro V? Hold on. So this one's 14C28N. The other two were Nitro V. So it is a budget offering. If you're not familiar, Cincut is the entry-level budget level. This is kind of middle tier for Cincut, Civivi, and Wii, with Wii being the more premium version. This is a more full-size knife. G10 scales on this particular version. It is a button-style plunge lock. It is not a top liner lock yet. Civivi and Wii are usually a little bit late to the latest flavor of the month for the lock system. They do generally take their time getting to it, although I will say they really, with the first Civivi button lock that they brought out, I don't think the market received it well, even though people loved the knife itself. You couldn't deploy it in any other way except with the button, so you had to do one of these numbers. I don't know if you know that one. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but that was not well received. Since then, they started coming out with true button locks. It took them a while to get there with those, and I will say they've refined and refined and refined, and they got it in a really good spot. This one here, I would say medium to heavy detent, but definitely more on the medium side. It's not the most crisp I've ever felt, but it's also a review sample, so keep that in mind. I usually feel like Civivis come as crispy as you can get from a plunge lock. They usually feel decent. This one has it has flush steel liners that are milled for weight reduction, reversible steel fold over pocket clip. I love that they do their sterile pivot over here, so that you can disassemble it easy. T8 construction, T6 pocket clip. Very unique spear point blade. It is hollow ground, but it doesn't go up all the way. There's a lot here. The swedge and the fuller being kind of hidden here is definitely very unique. Ergonomically, very comfortable. Cut through the catalog paper just fine. Felt like it does have a good factory edge. I stropped it up when I was done. And then when I tested it on a little bit of cardboard, again, review knife, definitely felt slicey. That hollow grind helps it feel that way. I wish they would have gone a little bit higher with that hollow grind. And then with that spear point, good detail, trace cutting, no issues there whatsoever. There's no play up and down, side to side. This one here, you can't push it all the way. If you do, it kind of stops it. You see, that's me squeezing all the way, and then when I let out a little bit. So this one here is just meant like soon as you disengage it, let it fall, and then let go of the plunge lock, and it won't bounce or anything like that, and it remains pretty well locked. Yep. Oh, there we go. If you try to kick it real hard, you can overcome that plunge lock, and that's not that abnormal for button locks here, but I mean, I really was doing that pretty violent. I can't spine whack this because it is a review sample, so I don't want to do that, but I have not had any of my own button locks from Civivi fail. Having said that, these are like EDC. I wouldn't baton with these. I wouldn't use these hard use. I probably wouldn't use these primarily as a self-defense. If you had it on you and you needed it in a pinch, it'd probably be okay. But I probably would, again, just for cutting task, EDC, that's all I would really recommend with these types of locks. You can use them hard. Don't get me wrong. Pushing into material to break something down, cut something down, that's what it's meant for. It's going to put more pressure against the stop pin than it is going to against the plunge lock. And this one here, the stop pin's external and it's sandwiched between those steel liners, so that is going to be really strong. It's just you don't want anything that's going to cause it to hit and come back. That's what you really don't want to. And just trying to muscle it doesn't feel like it wants to give way, so I feel pretty confident about that. Let's do some size comparisons, and then I wrap up with a final score at the end. All right, we're going to start with a couple of budget knives. We're going to start with the 154 cm budget variant of the Militol and the 154 cm variant of the Nice Guy. You can see that the Incindie is full size. Let's do a couple more. All right, here we have on the table my Manix 2 lightweight and my Benchmade bug out, and you can see I feel like this compares very well to these two as far as size is concerned. Let me bring the scale out and we'll check the weight. All right, we've got the scale out, cutting it on. Let's see what the Incindie weighs. Coming in at 3.9. How does that compare to the budget Militol? 3.8. So interestingly enough, the steel liner lock version here of this Militol is coming in lighter than the Incindie. Let's move the scale out of the way and then we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, final thoughts and impressions. Just to give you a breakdown, I grade on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 the best, 1 the worst, and budget knives cap at 7 simply because materials limit to how far it can go on the scale. Things that I do like about this one, ergonomically, it's very comfortable. I think stylistically, it's nice that this is a little bit different. You got some really integral milling here to spice up the G10 that you typically see on a budget knife, so I do like that. Instead of the fuller, I kind of wish that they just would have gone like all the way balls deep with that hollow grind coming all the way up to this top line. I think that would have really made this awesome for a slicey EDC. Having said that, it probably would have been constituted as a little bit boring. One of the things that I do wish, though, if they would have done that, is if they would have put a fuller up here. I feel like, ooh, if you dig your finger in there, you can reverse flick off this flat part. Now this is the coated, I think it's not even PVD. I think it's just a coated 14C28N that I'm able to get that off of. I don't know if their stone washed version or blasted, I don't know which one it is, would be as easy to do that on. This is intended to be a flipper, and if you like that, you can, I'm doing it way hard, guys, you can do that with the button lock. Now, having said all of that, it is really nice. It doesn't have, again, any up and down or side to side on this one. It works very well, and I wouldn't say that you would need to, but if you wanted just a little bit more crisp on that break, I feel like, yeah, I can feel it if I really try. If I really try to come off of that flipper tab before I kick it out. Sorry, my throat is tickling. I told you guys I've been doing a ton of these videos today to try to get caught up. Anyway, if you hit it with any amount of strength at all or quickness, it's going to deploy just fine. But you can take these apart and stretch the spring out a little bit, and it'll get you just a little bit extra strength there. Not a ton. Really, a heavier spring is what you want to do, but stretching it out kind of emulates a little bit more strength in the spring. But having said that, you got to be careful with doing that. You don't want to do it too much, because then what will happen is that button will be putting so much pressure against the blade as it opens, it's going to cause it to drag. And I think that's really what kind of slows it down when you try to trick doing a fake there. I think it's just the strength of that plunge pushes into the blade and kind of reduces the momentum, whereas if you normally hit it, it'll be fine. Having said all of that, I'm kind of at a 5.5. I'm okay with the aesthetics. I would have liked a little bit of change there, a little bit more strength, and maybe it does come like that. It is a review sample on that. 14C28N is a fairly good steel at this price point. It is fairly lightweight, but to me, because I've been exposed to the top button lock liner locks, or top liner locks with the buttons that are basically designed like a compression lock out there, I really like those a lot, and I'm kind of losing, well, I will say button locks are kind of losing their luster. Now, if they're really well done and it's a good looking piece, still I get excited about that. But this one here, one means a deployment, well, two if you count the button, but I don't really like that method of deployment. I feel like I'm like just whacking this crap out of the blade there, but aesthetically I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I would have, again, fuller up here, and full hollow grind to me would have really made this one Really, really cool. But let me know what you think about the Incindie. You know, it's not always about what I like down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, a like on the way out would be appreciated. If you're interested in this or any of the shopping that you're going to be doing, using the links helps the channel. If you guys, I know it's an extra step to come to the channel real quick and grab a video and grab a link, but it helps so much when you do that. Really, it does. Special thanks to the channel members out there. That membership, again, goes a long way. Thank you for that. And I'm out of here. I'll catch you next one. Have a great week. Peace.